Hello. Happy Earth and Herb Day. I decided to call it Earth and Herb Day. I was calling it Earth and Plant Day, but then I realized I better change it to Earth and Herb because somebody was starting to say Earth and Planet Day, and I'm like, no, not Earth and Planet, no. Earth and Herb Day. Also known as Choose. But I was thinking, why don't I do a little bit of calculation regarding what, in my opinion, is the actual distance to the sun compared to the spherical theories regarding the sun. So in my opinion, that sun right up there is 3,100 miles away or so. It's at least an approximate distance. And again, I don't consider the light to be a physical object, but rather a focal point of light. But how far would that be? Well, I live in Calgary, and I used to live in Winnipeg. And at one point, I picked up the fact that the distance from Winnipeg to Calgary is 850 miles. Also known as 1,300 kilometers, but I like mile a whole lot better. And I know that in some ways that might make me a little bit of a naughty Canadian, but that's fine with me. It's his one thing. It's his one norm. I love going against the grain. I mean, I like my temperatures in Fahrenheit as well, just because I can. And as they say in Korea, 재밌어요, or it's fun. But let's think about 850 miles. Let's use that as our measuring stick, okay? And when I fly from Winnipeg to Calgary or vice versa, it takes about 2 hours. So I asked myself, okay, so if Winnipeg to Calgary was my measuring stick, in other words, 850 miles, well, what's 3,100 divided by 850? And the answer comes out to be 3.647. So if I were to say, if it takes me 2 hours to fly between the two locations, then if I multiply that by 2, so 2 hours for every 850 miles, then we get 7.294 hours. So that if we were to fly from here to that focal point of light at the same speed, average speed that I travel when I travel from Calgary to Winnipeg, I would be at that focal point of light that is the sun in about 7.294 hours. So it's 2:52. So then it would be something like, it would be just after 10 p.m. if I were to leave now. So let's compare that to the spherical theories, because the spherical theories say that the sun is 93 million miles away. Well, how many times does 850 go into 93 million? And the answer is 109,412. And again, if it takes you 2 hours to fly 850 miles, then let's multiply this by 2, and it gives us 218,824 hours. And then if I divide that by 24, because there are 24 hours in a day, then I come up with 9,118 days. And if I divide that by 365, decided not to get technical and use 365.25 because I'm just approximating, that would take about approximately, almost exactly 25 years. So just imagine traveling the same average speed that I travel when I travel from Calgary to Winnipeg, and you're traveling that for 25 years. So the year right now is 2019. So just imagine you have 2029, 2039, 2044 would be arriving there at 2044. Is that what you see when you look in the sky? that if we were to take off, again, traveling the average speed that I travel when I travel from Winnipeg to Calgary, that we'd be arriving at the sun in 2044. Again, look at that pavement. See the shadow of the tree on that pavement? And the shadow of the building on the pavement? Again, the inverse square law of light dictates that you don't get shadows when your light source is really far away. It just doesn't happen. So if a photographer wants shadows, he moves the light source near. And if he doesn't want shadows, he'll move the light source far away. By the way, we experience there being less and less shadows until there are no shadows every day when the sun sets. In other words, move far away from us. So then the shadows diminish until there are no shadows. So anyway, I thought I'd give that a little bit of a reality check and let you know that I care about you, and I'm simply trying to help you see the truth so that we can be empowered and saved from our personal sins and not participate, again, in the unfruitful deeds of darkness, but rather reprove them. And I want to go to Ephesians chapter 5, see how the King James says it, because I was a member of a Baptist church in Saskatoon, and they were, to say the least, King James only. So I would recite these verses that I knew in different versions, and then one time he was preaching and complaining that some of us would quote verses, but they weren't right. So just for his sake. Here we go. Verse 11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. Let's do that. The spherical theories are, to say the least, an unfruitful deed or work of darkness, and we are not to participate in it. We're to reprove it. And let me say, people, it's a serious matter if there ever was one. Again, children are being sacrificed. And by the way, we are participating in that every day. And I was just asked to pray for a teenage young lady. She had twins, had them sacrificed, also known as aborted. Now she's dealing with the regret. And she will feel that regret for the rest of our lives, her life. Because we men dropped the ball and didn't stand in the gap and be righteous. And so help me God, I'm going to find a way to be perfect and upright, fear God, eschew evil, and abolish pre-born baby sacrifice in Yeshua's name. Now, some of you pro-lifers, you might have wondered, why are you pro-life? But then you think that the earth being flat has anything to do with it. Oh, it has everything to do with it. The spherical theories have led us astray, hidden God, made us think that we're lost in space, spinning and whirling and orbiting and all over the place. And then we do these ridiculous things like sacrifice our sons and daughters. And in Yeshua's name, I pray for that young lady, Dad, that thou wilt save her and hold her and let her know that her pain will not have been in vain and that thou wilt reverse the curse. And I pray that in Yeshua's name. Amen.